Hello, I'm Fighter for JC, and welcome to International Fight Previews. Tonight, I want to break down the September 15th showdown between Sergio Martinez and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. As always, I'd like to talk about each fighter's strengths, weaknesses, and keys to victory. Let's start off with Sergio Martinez. His strengths: he has excellent hand speed and he has fast feet. He has quick reflexes, a slick defense, and that awkward southpaw stance. He has knockout power, good ring generalship, he has experience, and he's very, very confident. His unconventional offense confuses most of his opponents, and he is equally effective with both hands. His weaknesses: age and wear and tear may finally take their toll. He's 37 or 38 years old, and we'll see if that's going to affect him. He's susceptible to pressure, as he has proven against Antonio Margarito and in some parts of the fight with Kelly Pavlik. He has a tendency to headhunt and neglect the body. Keys to victory: he needs to stay mobile and frustrate Chavez, but don't run around. It is especially important if the fight is close, because Chavez is far more popular than Martinez, and if the rounds are close, the referee's going to give the rounds to Chavez is if Martinez is running around and Chavez is pressing the action. Martinez doesn't need to fight Chavez's fight, and he can't stay on the inside for too long. He needs to use a steady jab and confuse Chavez with fast combinations. Martinez doesn't need to load up or try to force a knockout, but he does need to time Chavez with the uppercut when Chavez is trying to get inside. Now let's talk about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. His strengths: his size. He's pretty big for middleweight. His youth, physical strength. He has a solid chin. He's a tremendous in-fighter and a relentless body attack. He effectively cuts off the ring and has great ability to get inside. He probably does it better than any middleweight today. He throws good short punches with decent power, and his technique and boxing skills have improved over the last few years, particularly when Freddie Roach took over. His weaknesses: he has defensive lapses, which could be really costly against a fighter of Martinez's caliber. Chavez lacks a steady jab, and his quality of opposition has been mediocre at best. And despite the notable improvement over his last few bouts, Chavez Jr. is still largely untested, and he's mostly a one-dimensional fighter with a straight-up offense, which Martinez can really take advantage of. Also, Chavez's conditioning and stamina is suspect. His keys to victory: he must not, I repeat, must not try to box with Martinez. Chavez needs to forget about that jab, and I hope Freddie Roach isn't trying to impress people by having Chavez Jr. use a steady jab and try to box with Martinez. Chavez does need to apply steady pressure from the opening bell and use the right lead to close the gap. He needs to bob and weave and stay close at all times, protect that chin, and not get hit flush. And he needs to work Martinez's body at every opportunity. Now, for my prediction, I'm going to go out on a limb and go with Chavez Jr. And I'm probably going to look stupid if he gets knocked silly by Martinez, but I'm still going with Chavez. I think Martinez is a bit overrated, and at the same time, I think Chavez Jr. is grossly underrated. And people criticize him for not really using his size the traditional way, as in trying to jab and keep his opponents at a distance. But what he does so well, though, is fight like a short guy who likes to get inside and up close and personal, without having the physical disadvantages of being a small guy. And I think Chavez has made it work. And people tend to look at him as, a slugger because he doesn't jab well, but he throws very intelligent punches inside. He works the body very well. And like I said, Martinez has proven himself to be susceptible to pressure fighters. Um, he was having a blast with Kelly Pavlik early in the fight because Pavlik was trying to jab with him and outbox him. Big mistake. But in the middle rounds, when Kelly Pavlik started closing the gap, he really made Martinez very, very uncomfortable and really had him in some trouble. In many occasions during the fight. It was a pretty competitive fight, and it was because Pavlik was able to apply pressure. And I think there's no better pressure fighter in the middleweight division than Chavez Jr. And he kind of reminds me of Antonio Margarito because of his size. And Margarito, in spite his lack of speed, he was able to track down faster opponents and trap him and punish him. I think Chavez Jr. has the same kind of ability, and he's much quicker than Margarito, and he throws better punches. He has better reflexes, and he's smarter than people give him credit for. I think Martinez will be surprised by how easily Chavez will be able to take his best punches, and that might be a little discouraging for Martinez. I see Chavez growing in confidence with each passing round, and I think Martinez may be ripe for the taking, and I think Chavez Jr. is going to stop him in the late rounds after wearing him down with body shots all night long. So that's my prediction. Chavez Jr. by TKO, maybe 10 or 11 rounds. 10 or 11 rounds, but Chavez Jr. by TKO. Thank you for watching International Fight Previews. Until next time, I'm Fighter for JC.